You're watching Morning at NTV.
Good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV. This is Everyday Life and my name is Idris Matu. Now, failure can be devastating and it can make you feel like you cannot move on any longer. But in studio today, I have a guest who says failure is not the end of the world. Miss Mariam Melanie Mpata.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I have a handful of names.
A handful of names. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I see Kenyan, Ugandan. You belong to the East African continent.
Yes, I'm an East African girl.
All right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Mariam,
Yes.
what do you do exactly?
I run a football and mentorship program in Kenya called Junior Stars Youth Development Program.
All right.
But within the organization, we have different aspects. So we have the football aspect and we have the mentorship aspect.
Why football? Were you a footballer?
Surprisingly not. I happened to get into football by default.
Yes.
My son back then was about 8, very passionate about football. And then he broke one of my neighbor's windscreens. And then I had to pay for it. So then I decided, let me take this young man to a football program.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't find one in Mombasa. So I decided to start one.
All right.
So that was 10 years ago.
So, Mombasa.
Yes.
Are you Kenyan? Are you Ugandan?
I'm actually Ugandan.
But you've been living in Kenya
For the last 16 years.
16 years?
Yes.
Habari.
Mzuri sana.
That's where I stopped.
And I know, and of course I know all the Ugandan language. Most of the
Ugandan languages.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So the organization that you're running,
Yes.
basically, under football, and
Yes.
what else did you say?
We do football, we do mentorship. So mentorship, we run youth mentorship summits, and then we also run women empowerment forums, like the one I'm hosting tomorrow, rather today at Africana Hotel.
So
Yes.
the football, is it also for women?
Yes. It's also for women and boys and girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the mentorship program that
Yes.
you're doing, and I understand today at Africana Hotel,
Yes.
you have a conversation that is going to be taking place.
Yes.
Talking about failure.
Yes.
How can women embrace
Yes.
failure
Yes.
into success?
Yes.
How do you start?
Well, okay, what happened is that because I was running football, I ended up interacting a lot with the men and the young boys. So I realized I was losing my female touch. So I decided, I need to get, because I have a counseling background, and one of my passions is to talk to young people, talk to people and inspire them to, just become better persons. So then I realized, how about I create a platform where women can just get together and have conversations, conversations that are out of the ordinary. Because I know most people are doing mentorship in terms of networking, entrepreneurship, business. There's so much of that happening. But very many times we forget the basics that make a woman a happier person or a better entrepreneur.
Yes.
So then I realized, how about we have the non-conventional subjects? Things to do with family, things to do with personal growth, things like failure. How about we have those conversations? So this particular platform is called the MM Women Series. And it's a platform that hopes to revive the traditional fireplace.
What does the triple M stand for?
It's actually my names.
Oh, Mariam Melanie
You can
Mpata.
even see it right here.
Nice.
So Mariam Melo Osime Mpata.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I do then is have conversations, not speeches, not conferences. We sit down and have woman-to-woman talks. So this particular series, which is about the 7th series we are doing, and the first one in Kampala, we are having a group of about 4 women and an audience of about 50 to 60 women. And these particular 4 women have, come up and decided, what, we'll share our failure story. We don't want to hear the success story. If I was to tell you my success stories, you wouldn't learn from them.
Yeah, because so many people come out and whenever they are trying to tell you their background, where they've come from, they tell you all these amazing things. And it sounds like a movie, you know?
Yes.
But the reality is you cannot get anywhere without having some stumbles and falls.
Yes.
So these women, who are these women and what kind of background do they have?
Well, these 4 women, they're actually amazing women. One is called Irene Kugonza. She's into organic organic. She has an organic organization that deals with basic organic foods, and she has such a powerful story. But along the way, she's had numerous failures. And then we have one called Hope Babi Gumira.
I know.
Forgetting
You've
my
been
Uganda,
Kenyan.
yes.
So
But she's an author. She's written a book called No Makeup On, and she talks about her struggles as a young girl, which relates so much with what's happening in our era in terms of girls these days. So she talks about, you know, she puts it out there and says, look, I have gone through this, made these mistakes, but these are the lessons I've learned. They've made me a stronger woman. And I think anyone who will read that book as a young person will be able to understand. Learn from it. We also have Namte Bishamira, who is a director in one of the Muslim organizations. And she also has her story in terms of failure as much as she's successful. And then of course we have Janet, who is an entrepreneur. She also has her failure stories in terms of finances, the mistakes she made, and how she wants people to learn from her story.
And then we have you.
And of course we have me with my numerous failure stories. You know, it's not every day that women can just say, you know, here are my mistakes, and this is what I went through. Because most people don't want to talk about it. They fail and hide it under the carpet. But they don't know that.
They just want to highlight.
Yes, they want to highlight. Someone say, I'll probably come here and say, I'm a top 40, I'm a blah, blah, I've been, you know, but how did I get there? That is the most important aspect, because then we avoid people making mistakes, because if I learn from you, then I avoid making mistakes sometimes, you know.
You learn the better way.
You learn the better way, because after all, they say failure is the best teacher. So for us, this conversation is really going to help women get some skills that are going to help them to move to the next level. And I think when we empower women, again, like they say, then we make better partners, better, you know, entrepreneurs, better housewives, better, you know, all these things, and we build a better nation. So that's really one of our objectives and what's happening tomorrow. Yes.
Has there been a feeling that most people, or in particular women, because the whole talk is about women and empowering women.
Yes.
Is there a feeling that women have not been able to accept failure, or they have not dealt with it in the right way?
Yes, I think, okay, like most of the topics that we come up with in this series are because we read the trends, we see what's happening. Some of them I get from my experiences, but some I can be able to look at what's happening and realize that there's actually a need. Yeah, so I have realized, yes, that so many times women fail, and when they fail, even other fellow women are the first ones to even pour more, you know, if I can call it, salt into the wound, you know. And it's very sad, because if a woman fails, really, then it is upon us sisters to really uplift her and hold her hand. So I realize that most women are afraid when they fail. Some of them, we've had instances where women will commit suicide because of their failure. We've had instances where women fail and they're all over the newspapers, and they've put them out there, made it worse for them. You know, women or even men, it's normal to fail. It shouldn't be something that should determine someone's, you know, life for the rest of the life. Yeah, you know, because we make mistakes, we fail many times. So really, I think that yes, there's that need to address failure, and once we do, I think it can be a powerful place.
When you look back on your journey, where you are now, what is that one of the failures that you can look back and say, I failed this way, and probably I didn't handle it the right way, or I handled it the right way? Yes.
Well, I think for me, one of the most significant things that happened to me was a financial decision that I made. My organization is a community-based organization, and that means it's very challenging. I depend a lot on well-wishers, you know, my family itself, donations, you know, donations and all that. So I went into sort of like an agreement with some guys who thought, you know what, Mariam, you have a good concept. Why don't we come together and you know, bring in these musicians, because I run another program called Watoto Africa Soccer Awards, and after the tournaments we have a gala And during the gala, we have celebrities who come in and empower the young people, award them, and all these things. So they say, Mariam, you know what? You're a Ugandan. Go in and bring Chameleon. Go in and bring all these musicians, and then you can make money instead of, all the time trying to beg for money all the time. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So we had all these major plans, and we got media sponsorship actually from NTV in Kenya. So then I looked for some funds. Now, when it came to looking for the funds to bring in these guys, the responsibility fell on my table. So I said, you know what? I'm already into it. Let me just continue. So I went. We had Chameleon coming to Kenya, and then everything was looking so good. Then on the day of the gala, it rained from 12. It rained from 12 up to midnight.
Oh wow!
Yes. And Chameleon.
And what time was the gala supposed to start?
It was supposed to start at 3.
At 3.
Yes.
Up to what time?
We were supposed to have the gala for the kids up to about 6.
Yeah.
Then we have the musicians now do another gig for their parents up to about midnight. So imagine it's rained from 12 up to midnight.
Oh
and we didn't have money for a tent, for a huge tent. So everyone scattered and all that. So at the end of the day, I went into losses of like 100 million Ugandan shillings.
Oh my God.
And it was like the worst time of my life.
How did you deal with it?
It was horrible.
I can imagine, like,
I was
you
crying.
make a loss.
I was crying every day. I was depressed, and but one of the things later on when I had to really face up to reality was that I realized that it was the best thing that could happen to me. I learned so much. I realized I need to trust my instincts, trust my calling. My calling is community based. Yeah. Maybe the other people will make money, they can always make it. But for me, my drive is young people, my drive is empowering people. If the money comes along, let it come clean and nice.
You're not a big promoter.
Yes, I just said, no, what is my core business? Yeah, my core business is not that.
Yeah.
And then I went back to the basics. And I did so well, and I did ABC, and I remember that year was one of my best, despite what I went through. Out of it, I was awarded a top 40 under 40 award in Kenya. Being a Muslim woman, being a foreigner in a country like that, and you're being recognized among the top 40 women.
That's amazing.
That came out of all that failure. So for me, I think that if we embrace failure and look at, as much as it's painful and it can be depressing, if we have support, we can deal with it and come out of it and become victors.
So some of the things I'm picking from your story is that, number one, after failing, you were able to gain self-awareness.
Yes.
You knew who you are.
Yes.
But one of the important points you have kind of touched on is that you have to have a support system.
Exactly.
This support system,
yes,
does it have to be in form of family? Does it have to be in form of employees? Does it have to be financial? What exactly is a support system?
A support system, I think, is personal. It's individualized, because for me, my support system is my husband and my mother, and probably like a few other friends of mine whom I can really run to and say, this is happening. And of course, God, yes, of course.
Yes.
This is really what's happening to me right now. And their support is very important. So I think everyone needs to find, you can't go running to everybody about your issues. You also need to be careful, because some other people make them worse. So you have to be having a core support system that can help you to pull out of it. But of course, again, like I said, or rather like you mentioned, financial support is also important. And then building goodwill. Some of the guys that I really needed to pay off, I think for me, when I look back, they are my heroes. Because when I would talk to them and say, look here, this is actually what happened. Even Chameleon himself, I salute that gentleman. He came and said, Mariam, I've seen what's happened. Don't worry, don't pay me. And for me, I look at it as those are heroes, people who are in time when you're in crisis, and people are able to reach out. Those are your heroes and your support system.
So wow, such a great story. And before we run out of time, I know time is kind of going, moving.
Yes.
The talk is happening today.
Yes.
From 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
To 9 p.m.
Hotel Africana.
Hotel Africana.
How much are the tickets?
We are selling a ticket at 30,000 Kenya shillings.
Kenyan
No,
shillings.
sorry. Oh my God, I really need to spend more
You have
time
lived
here,
in
don't
Kenya
I?
for a long time.
I need to spend more time here.
So it's Ugandan
shillings.
Very affordable.
Please, very affordable. It's just going to be amazing. It's a life-changing experience for anyone, for any woman out there. And hopefully when we come back again, we'll have the men as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And how do I buy tickets?
The tickets are at Africana. So you can just come in today and get your tickets and get set.
And there is also a number that
Yes.
I can call to
Yes.
kind of make a booking, which
Yes.
is 0777
Yes.
913
Yes.
393. The number will
Yes.
be running on your
Yes.
screen. If
Yes.
you can just copy it down and be
Yes.
able to book a ticket to the women's MM's Women's Series,
Yes.
where they will be talking about failure,
Yes.
how you can, turn failure into success. Well, Mariam, it has been a pleasure having you
Thank
today.
you so much.
Good luck with that. I hope it doesn't rain.
Yep, we are all set.
You're all set.
We are all set.
Nothing
Nah,
outdoor.
nah.
You learn from your mistake. Well, learning from
thank
failure.
you.
Be there, Hotel Africana. A ticket is only at 30,000 Ugandan shillings.
Yes.
Not Kenyan shillings. The number to book will be running on it's right there. It's
Yes.
0777 913 393. Go book a ticket or go to Africana and buy your own ticket. And again, it's 30,000 Uganda shillings.
Yeah.
So many amazing ladies will be talking to young women and empowering them about how you can turn failure into success.
Yeah.
Well, to continue the conversation, go to our website, which is www.ntv.co.ug, or our social media platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter. Look out for Morning at NTV or NTV Uganda. And you can look out for me, which is Idris Matu, spelled EDRISMATU. And talk to me. Tell me what you want to see on the show. Give me some feedback, and well, because the show is for you. Now, coming up next is Kawe Demo for the lovers of sport. Have a very good morning.